When God isn't for sale. Why cash can't buy contentment. There's a strange superstition in the world that money is the great stabilizer. It's the talisman people clutch when they're afraid of life's uncertainty, the one symbol they trust to quiet their restless hearts. But like all idols, cash promises safety while hiding its cost, the illusion of control that slowly drains the soul. Contentment, on the other hand, is of a different order entirely. It can't be bought, earned, invested, or withdrawn. It's not a state of having, it's a state of knowing. The mind that is content knows what it is and therefore has no need to grasp. Money operates in the realm of form, but contentment belongs to the formless. One is the currency of the world, the other is the currency of heaven. They cannot be exchanged because they have no common denominator. When the ego invented scarcity, it also invented the fantasy of wealth. It needed an opposite to make the illusion of loss seem meaningful. So it created gold, coins, salaries, and credit cards, all of which are simply projected symbols of perceived lack. The rich man and the poor man are merely two masks on the same false idea that happiness depends on what one has or doesn't have. A Course in Miracles calls this the special relationship in financial form, the belief that fulfillment comes from accumulation, that more will fill the hole that was never real. But lack was never external. It was the inner decision to forget wholeness and to substitute possession for peace. Cash can purchase comfort, but comfort is not the same as contentment. Comfort lives in time. It fades when the conditions shift. Contentment transcends time. It rests in changelessness. When the mind identifies with money, it trades eternal certainty for temporary relief. It becomes like a man living paycheck to paycheck in his own thoughts, dependent on circumstances to grant him permission to feel safe. And yet, no amount of money can buy what the ego sold: innocence. The moment the mind values anything outside itself, it has already declared itself impoverished. It has said, "I am not enough." The pursuit of wealth is the ego's favorite loop. It disguises fear as ambition, anxiety as motivation, and restlessness as productivity. But notice the pattern. It never ends. Each success becomes a seed for the next goal. The numbers climb, but satisfaction doesn't. It's the same mirage repeating itself across the desert of desire. True contentment, however, does not chase its reflection in the sand. It drinks from the well beneath it. It knows the oasis is within. This doesn't mean money is evil. It's neutral, like all forms. What matters is the purpose assigned to it. When used by the Holy Spirit, money becomes a means of extending love, not securing egoic safety. It serves rather than enslaves. It flows rather than binds. But when used by the ego, it becomes a mirror of fear, an endless attempt to solve an internal problem with external math. A Course in Miracles teaches that every idol serves only one purpose: to delay peace. The ego promises that just a little more, one more zero, one more deal, one more purchase, will finally bring rest. But peace cannot come later, because peace is now. There's a quiet dignity in simplicity. The one who is truly content could lose everything in form and yet lose nothing of value. The house could burn, the market could crash, the bank could close, but the mind that knows its source remains unmoved. For it knows that joy does not depend on what fluctuates. It knows that wealth is not measured by possessions but by presence. "Consider the lilies," said Jesus, "not because they are rich, but because they do not toil in worry. They bloom without anxiety about tomorrow." That's the symbol of divine economy, effortless abundance born of trust. The ego hoards, the spirit shares. The ego calculates, the spirit creates. The ego demands returns. The spirit recognizes that everything has already been given. If contentment were a bank, its currency would be acceptance. It would not pay interest. It would pay attention. It would not accumulate. It would circulate. The account would never run dry because it would never be withdrawn from love. To be content is to remember that nothing real can be threatened. To chase money for safety is to forget that safety is already assured. This world teaches, secure yourself first, then you can relax. The spirit teaches, relax first, and you will discover you are already secure. The difference between those two teachings is the difference between cash and contentment, between a mind enslaved to what it sees and a mind free to remember what it is. So don't demonize the dollar, just demote it. Let it be what it is, a symbol. Give it to love's purpose. Let it feed, clothe, share, and serve. But never let it define. Because the moment you confuse the symbol with the source, you'll find yourself counting what can't be kept and overlooking what can never be lost. Contentment begins where the math ends, when the equation of more equals happiness is finally seen as the lie it always was. The only real wealth is the peace that doesn't fluctuate with market conditions. That's not in your wallet, it's in your mind.